Welcome back once again to the final stop on the championship tour for the women. It is stop number 10, the lululemon Maui Pro. Honolulu Bay is looking very tricky out there today. We've seen one of our world title contenders really struggle. The other two progress very easily. Lakey Peterson, Carissa Moore looks super sharp.
That's what I heard, yeah, sand from all of the different beaches. But that wasn't the trophy when we were doing it. It's definitely stepped up a grade now.
Oh, for sure. It was a pretty fruit boulder. Here we go. Action getting underway in Heat 5 of the seeding round. All the surfers know Keely very well because she's a great surfer, has competed in qualifying series events in the past. Great to see her looking so well and back on her feet. She was a victim in a really bad accident over in Korea but not too long ago where a bunch of athletes were actually injured when a deck they were standing on collapsed.
Keely was unable to capitalise on it. Malia here with the knee guard. You can see that on the back leg. Had those on, and they give you a sense of confidence when you feel that tightness and warmth around your knee when you're recovering from an injury.
Really very lucky to survive that without any long-lasting major injuries. So great to have her here in Maui. As we see now, Keely Andrew looking to get a campaign started here in the seeding round. Picked off a smaller ride, looks to dig in on that final manoeuvre. But I think you're going to really struggle to turn in those big numbers, Barton, if you're taking off waves that are a third of the size of what's possible out there.
We've all got to work in an area. Nobody's perfect. You're always working, but you can see the size of this wave, and that's what you were referring to, Ronnie, is that this wave is a small wave by comparison of what's out there, and so you're kind of limiting your scoring potential. But this one did wall up through the inside, got steep and sucking.
Amazing performance there, beating Sally Fitzgibbons in the final. She kept that roll going through Brazil, through J-Bay. Great results, but fell off the pace through the European leg. You see Malia there kicking out a one on the inside.
Get that run through the part where you would ordinarily take off and get to turn on that section and create points out of it rather than just drop into it. Here's Malia.
Malia doing well to get out in front of this one. Tricky takeoff. Looking down the line, she's going to get out of that one. Bit of a ride through the bowl there for a moment as Stephanie Gilmore takes off behind her. Whips into the bowl. This wave flattening out for a moment, but Gilmore sticking with it. Goes to the rebound. Fades back to set up something a little more critical here on the inside. A little wobbly out there at the moment. And Steph's going to finish that one right there on the inside.
But I like the creativity she showed, and it gave her the heat winners. We see the replay of Steph there. As you said, this wave is a little bit wobbly, a little bit bouncy, and you can see Steph still trying to find that comfort zone to surf in and feeling a little wobbly herself on the board, trying to find the right place, set the fins, set the rail, and be able to drive. Or even a closeout turn on that section would have put that into a potentially excellent score.
Keely there, live action, just getting tangled up in that white water. And you can catch more of that story. Check out hashtag Make a Wave. But great to see Malia getting involved at a community level. This wave during the break for Stephanie Gilmore, Barton.
These are the type of waves I was talking about. We saw her chip in outside. She got off the jet ski up by the coconuts part of the reef and actually got this little chip in. Where she's finishing that wave is kind of where the other ladies have been taking off down at the cave section, the ones you want.
Keely Andrew up now. Nice little whip out of the top. A light-footed surfer with that fast twitch fibre. She can whip that board through those cleaner pockets of this wave.
You know, I know you've had some great surfs over the years here.
That's a great surf for you.
Here we go.
Here we go. Stephanie Gilmore, beautiful carve there. Finally taps into a clean wall and commits to a big rail turn. Now snowboarding out there on the open face, bit of foam to deal with, but hanging on to this one, trying to stay on her feet. That's always the directive from her coach, Jake Patterson. Finish the wave on your feet and no one can beat you. And she did well on that occasion to maintain control through a lumpy end section, but that first turn was money. The deep takeoff really sets it up.
And look at this wall right in front of her, clean and beautiful, and just gets that painted it snap. Beautiful Stephanie Gilmore snap there with a lovely wrap. And you can see you want to be close to the whitewater. Do your turns as close to that whitewater as you possibly can, but you don't want it to destabilise you and have you fall off. So it's a very fine line, and Stephanie threaded that fine line beautifully on that one.
You've surfed all over the world. You spend every winter on the north shore of Oahu. We'll get back to that point in a moment. Like Stephanie Gilmore taking off deep once again and really finding some nice sections. As that wave starts to cup out, this wave's going to get away from her though.
And that's the advantage. She was in third priority there, but because the jet ski assist takes you up and drops you right at the top of the point, you can drift in, get those whitewater chips and get 2 or 3 turns before you get to the takeoff where the other ladies are. So that wave it had the horseshoe, but it didn't have the length.
Gilmore on the replay here. You can see how much deeper she was on that ride, even that position of third priority, able to get a couple of turns done, and she did it.
When he's forward, it's just so drivey. When he's back, it's nice and loose and sensitive.
Keely Andrew up at the moment, really deep on this one. I'd like the opportunity to redistribute some of my bulk. Here we go. Keely's going to take a fall there on the inside. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining here.
Obviously hasn't had a score of consequence yet.
Look at this thing. Malia Manuel, big late drop. Weightless as she falls to the base of this one, and she's going to pull through the back. It's one of my favourite characteristics of this wave is the way it converges. It'll horseshoe around the reef.
Because we kind of in that habit of judging it from the back, but here's someone on the face of a big one.
Malia Manuel driving up to the first section. Only needs a 2.41 to get in a second with 35 seconds remaining. And Malia, solid first turn, Barton. And will it be enough to see her jump ahead of Keely Andrew here and into a position to qualify for that round of 16?
It's going to be interesting. Here's Malia's. Let's have a look at this. Nice drop. How's his first turn? Definitely more critical than anything Keely did on her ride. Again, it sort of was a little bit wider of the steep bowly section on that one, and there wasn't a lot after that first turn. So Keely on one.
Well, Keely racing on that front foot, just trying to get out in front of this one. Now starting to let go of some turns on the inside. She might need something out of this ride. The hooter sounds. The heat has come to a close. Gilmore, she'll probably get the victory. It's a battle for second spot. And Keely fighting right to the end of this one.
Well, I think she's going to need, Malia's going to need more than 2.41 perhaps, because Keely's going to improve, you would think, on that too.
Very small wave for
yes.
a 2. But this is a good sized wall.
This is a much better wave. She was nice and deep for the takeoff. A lot of racing here, not a lot of turns and point accumulation to this point. She drops down, waiting for it to stand up, gets another nice snap in there. She's got a great style, great use of the legs. You'd see that little flare of the front hand in between the turn.
Will be relegated to the elimination round. So Malia surviving that one with some very strong nerves in the final stages there. Steph Gilmore, though, too strong. And she gets the victory. She's moving through to the round of 16. Stick around. More action to come in just a moment.